the Leadership Conference of Women Religious with its 87,000 Catholic members. And they're really, these two organizations inspired the NAACP, the Unitarian Universalists, the Methodist bishops, and other faith communities, Christian, Jewish communities, to also pass their own resolutions. We had a lot of vets there when we gathered now. Vets from Iraq, Vietnam vets. A lot of parents come with their children. And what a wonderful way to teach our children about peacemaking. Senior citizens, the grandmothers for peace are always there with us. A lot of speakers, musicians, the puppetistas bring joy to the young and old alike. Sunday, it's more solemn. We have the procession where we carry the photographs, the religious symbols, the crosses, the Star of David with the names of the victims and their ages. And as we process, the names are called out individually. And after each name in unison, thousands there will say, "He is empty." It's here, I think, that we touch on the sacred. Many weep, many weep. And I think this is what happens when we get close to the sacred. We weep. There are no words. When we come to the fence, we take our photographs and those religious symbols and we put them in that chain link fence. We turn it into something sacred. It becomes this memorial wall. Since the early days, it was always a part of our tradition when we gathered to do what we call the nonviolent acts of civil disobedience. Our movement, I must say, it's very important to say this, as we began to blossom as a movement, we realized how important it was to root our movement in nonviolence. That was going to be our way, a way of nonviolence. And we drew on the wisdom and the experience of Mahatma Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, Dorothy Day, and others. Their way was going to be our way, the way of nonviolence. And so many of us realized that in our faith tradition, the message was clear. The message of nonviolence being the way. And so we started to go over that line. And they said we were breaking the law. But we said on this day we are going to follow a higher law. That law of conscience that compels us to do these things that we somehow wouldn't normally do. It was our conscience and the knowledge of our faith that says, "Thou shalt not kill," that compelled us across that line. Arrested over 250. Don, Chuck, Rebecca, among the 250. And when they sent them to prison, they could not be silenced. As we know, the truth cannot be silenced. They simply energized the movement. They simply brought more people the next November. And that's really how our movement grew. There are a couple of signs of hope I just want to mention. We have a bill in Congress. Last year we came within 6 votes of cutting off the funding. 6 votes. That's close. Letters to your members of Congress simply requesting that they not use our tax money for a school like this, but for schools for our children. We also have what we call now our Latin America Initiative, which has become better known as our Latin America Partnership. It's a partnership. We're walking in solidarity with sisters and brothers of Latin America. And so we said, let us go to Latin America to meet with the leaders of the social movements there, and their presidentes and defense ministers, human rights leaders, and meet with them. And in those meetings to appeal that they pull out their troops. The very first country that we went to was Venezuela. And I'm happy to report that we said 3 weeks after we met with President Hugo Chavez, those troops from Venezuela were pulled out. And that encouraged us now to go to other countries. In the last 2 years, we have been to 15 countries of Latin America. We've covered a lot of miles there. There's a sea change taking place in Latin America. They are breaking away from the empire, as we are called there, El Imperio. They are bringing into their governments leaders like Rafael Correa in Ecuador, the newly elected President Fernando Lugo in Paraguay, who's known for his solidarity with the poor, Evo Morales in Bolivia, who are bringing hope to their people. And what we heard from our many meetings is that we are welcome as a country to go and be involved in their country. Pero no como antes. Not as the conquistadors to exploit their cheap labor and their natural resources, as we have been doing for decades. They said, no, se acabó. It's finished. Those days are gone. If you can come to our country as a partner, bienvenidos. Well, under this administration, I do not think that they're capable of doing this. Will we as a country with the new administration be able to do this? I'm happy to report now that after those many meetings, our delegation consisted of Carlos Mauricio from El Salvador, Joe Mulligan, the Jesuit from the Detroit area, some of you may know Joe. Lisa Sullivan, our Latin America coordinator. We're very blessed to have Lisa with us, 22 years of living in Latin America. And we have been able now to get those 5 countries to pull out. Venezuela, Argentina, Uruguay, Costa Rica, and the latest, Bolivia. And that has given us great hope. Next month, we're going to Paraguay and to Chile with the hope of meeting with their presidents and social movement leaders, human rights advocates, and others. Our hope is strong, but we've got a lot of work ahead of us. A lot of work. You know that. The struggle, and this is all these issues that we're working on, it's all connected. It's all about peace and justice. We're not in competition with each other. People in our movement work on so many other issues. We're all in solidarity here. We will close this school, I have no doubt about it. We're getting there. We've been at it. We've been keeping our hands on the plow now for some 20 years. We're not going away. This coming November, the weekend before Thanksgiving, if you could look at your calendar, it would be a great blessing if you could be with us. We're expecting more than last year, just to come down and be a part of the movement. I can guarantee you that you will be energized, I think, and meet so many. You will find hope there, find hope. And so that we so need, I think, in our country and in our lives today. And so let me just say we march on with peace in our hearts and joy in the struggle. Thank you.